Yo, I'm back, and something a little different to what I've been doing more recently. I'm going to show you how to rewrap a battery, and the battery of choice is, I believe it's an LG MJ1, 3500 milliamp hours, 10 amp recommended max discharge. It's in pretty good condition, but I want it to go in the billet box that you just saw, and I want to use one of these awesome battery wraps from the guys over at ODB wraps. And I've opted for that design because some of the other designs aren't suitable for 18650s, and this particular design has that samurai lady on, which very conveniently matches the billet tank that I have, or the borrow tank that I have from ODB here, which, as far as I'm concerned, is one of the best, if not the best looking borrow tanks available. So always recommend using something that's not metallic to help you when rewrapping your batteries. You don't ideally want anything made out of metal touching the metal of the battery, just for safety reasons. But peel off the old wrapper, make sure that insulator, that little ring, sometimes they're stuck on the top of the battery. I prefer to work with those ones, but this particular one is just there loose. But you really don't want to lose that. One of the most important parts of the battery in terms of safety especially. But once you've removed the old battery wrap, grab your battery, slide it into the new wrap. Make sure it's centered nicely. You want a little bit of overhang at the top, a little bit of overhang at the bottom, so the wrap can, for want of better wording, wrap around the battery. Wonder how many times I'm going to say wrap and battery in this video. Should get a counter. I like to use a hairdryer, turn it up to the maximum heat setting, turn it on to the maximum blow setting, for want of better wording. Make sure the hairdryer is up to temperature before you start applying the heat to the battery, and then just watch how the battery wrap shrinks to the 18650 battery with such satisfaction. It is a very visually satisfying thing watching a battery get wrapped, I feel personally anyway. But yeah, give it a few passes over with the heat. You don't want the battery to get too hot, but obviously it is going to get warm due to it, a blow dryer being on it. But the more heat, the better the wrapping, but also the more heat, the less good it is for the actual battery. So I like to give it just a few moments to cool down after the first pass, and then give it another pass, and there you go. You've got an 18650 wrapped in some of the best designed battery wraps available. So popping it back in the billet box. I will do a better video on the billet box and the tank and the RBA or bridge that I've got in there, but that's a project for another day. Just wanted to show the battery wrap this time. But I've noticed, because I've put the battery wrap on the way that most people would assume to do it, so the positive at the top, once you put the battery back in the billet box, where it requires the positive to be at the bottom, it doesn't look so cool. It's upside down, so I'm going to struggle to take the battery back out now. And in fact, I'm actually going to dent the top of the battery a little bit, trying to get this off. It's one thing about the billet box that I don't enjoy, is trying to remove the batteries. But got it out, and I'm going to have to put a new wrap on. Luckily, I have multiple. I think they come in packs of 4 from ODB. But I'm going to put it with the top of the design at the negative end of the battery. So when I put it back inside the device, the design on the battery wrap is the right way up. As you can see there, the positive is down, which I forget with the billet. I was about to do exactly the same thing again there, but caught myself last moment. So now you've got the bottom end of the design at the positive end of the 18650. So once it goes back in the device, as you just saw, everything will be the right way up, and I will be a happy chappy. When I'm applying the heat from the hairdryer or whatever you might be using, I like to start at the creases. So you'll notice it's like two seams on either side of the battery wrap, and that's where I like to put the heat first. As when I've tried to rewrap batteries in the past and not done that, those creases, because they are like the strongest creases in the whole wrap, they tend to stick out a little bit, and I like it to look as well wrapped as possible, as you can imagine. But yeah, that's where I noticed I've dented the top there. That happened when I was trying to get it out just a moment ago, because I was just trying to rag it out, which is never a good idea, but the battery should still work fine. Goes back in the device, okay. Drip tip on, panel on the right way, and voila. We have a freshly wrapped 18650 in an ODB design battery wrap, and it's looking splendid. Peace.